Okay, we are on the north side of the structure. This is the fireplace chimney, and right there is the siding. Right there on that siding, right down there, there should be kick-out flashing. Kind of has some up at the top. I get that. There's a rain gutter, I get that. But also, that siding is not supposed to be in direct contact with the roof covering, because being in direct contact with the roof covering will allow water to wick up and cause water damage like we're seeing. It's a dark shingled roof. It's a hip roof. It has gable details at the front. We have passive wind turbines. A satellite dish should not be installed directly to a roof covering. That said, I've never seen one installed quote unquote properly. I've got a picture of it in the report, a picture that I got from a class about 15 years ago, and I haven't seen one since. That's the only one I've ever seen. The electric meter is on the east side of the house, and the sides and the top should have been sealed to help prevent moisture infiltration. If my pen can get in there, water can get in there. Just saying. These are the condensing units. The coils are a little dirty. They look like they're fairly recent installations. According to the manufacturer's date, I'm going to say 2 years. They're probably 1 year old. Installed 1 year, something like that. Right here, that's a Terminex bait station. Bait station for termites. So we know somebody, and by the way, there's two different versions of this Terminex. You got your consumer grade and your commercial grade. And I don't know if that was a commercial application or not. I don't have any documentation so far. We're still looking. Rain gutters discharge above the grade. These are the two condensing units. Again, I said they probably installed about a year ago. There's a little bit of controversy here on this foam right here. Mostly by me. But I lose this argument all the time. It looks like it's no sense in calling your attention to something that's not going to change. And a lot of people have a good argument that it's right. So there it is. Here's the data plate for one of your condensing units. This one here is the south unit, and it's a 3 ton. It's a 410A. That's good. This is the south unit. This is a 2.5 tons R10. That's a good refrigerant. That is the refrigerant of choice. Right here, these are the temperature pressure relief valve drain lines. Probably for 2 water heaters, because the drain lines are the same size. If one was a little larger, I could assume it was for a safety pan. But we want to see a safety pan when we go in there, and we want to find out how many water heaters we have. We do. And I'll go ahead and put this one on here. We've got a lot of repairs. A lot of repairs around the house. On the brickwork, a lot of repairs. Wood mulch next to the house. That's conducive to wood destroying insects. I'm not doing a wood destroying insect report today. Not today. But we do have high soil around here. That's for any report. The electrical receptacle outlets on the exterior, they should have in-use covers. Some people call them bubble covers. And the reason being is so you can plug your Christmas lights in and then close the cover. As it is now, you plug your Christmas lights in and then the water can get in there. We'll look at that later, or sooner. This video is going to be later. Storm doors are beyond the scope of the inspection. Coming on along. This is the water meter in the parkway. Speaking of the parkway, and this is beyond the scope, but the curb's a little high right here. The ground is sunken right in here. So, you know, if you're walking Granny out to the car, you're going to have to, you know, hold her elbow and help her in. This is the water meter. And if you look right over there, that little red triangle, that's called a flow indicator. Some people call them cheater wheels or cheater paddles, but it's very sensitive. And it only has to do with the water coming into the house, the fresh potable water to the house. If there's a leak somewhere, that little triangle will move. So if your water bill's high, come look at the triangle. If you can't find the leak, if it's not a commode flapper, a lot of times it's the lawn sprinkler. If it's not a drippy faucet, you've got a leak someplace that you cannot see. I'm making an assumption here. I haven't found sewer cleanouts. I found one on the other wall, but I don't see sewer cleanouts. There's some more of those repairs like I'm talking about. You know, the house has had foundation repair, that's evident. Sewer cleanouts, excuse me, the blind inspector. Right here, it doubles. Right here, there's one cleanout cap and there's the other one. I wonder what kind of shape this is in. It's alright. That's alright. Okay. This is assumed. I don't know. That's assumed to be the main water shutoff valve to the house. And if it is in fact in there, then I don't understand why they've installed an irrigation box without installing the valve. But things happen in the field. So anyway, if there's not a valve in there, you don't have a valve. And if there is a valve in there, it should be excavated. And the irrigation box should be excavated so that you can get your hands around it and service it and work on it. You can actually use it if you need it. We have about 55, and a leaky stem. Look at that. So we have about 55 psi of pressure to the house. I don't do codes. I'm not a code inspector, but code is that you should have between 40 and 80. So 55 is legal, acceptable, passing, call it what you will. This is the clothes dryer vent. The clothes dryer is in operation. I'm going to come back and put this back because it fell off when I was looking at it. But that little screen right there, it doesn't belong on there. That screen will, see what it's doing is catching lint. And it'll continue to catch lint. That'll be a problem for you. That'll be a problem for you. Remember I was talking about excavating the main water shutoff, the supposed, assumed water shutoff? Okay, well over here, this is the check valve for the lawn sprinkler system. It has not been serviced in the last year. When this was installed, it was okay to be installed, quote unquote, like this. But today, you'd have a main shutoff valve to the lawn sprinkler system. And speaking of valves, I cannot see valve handles. They're rusty or gone. The isolation valves, they're rusty and missing. And then the cover's kind of boogered up too. Let's just put that here. One last sprinkler note. Alright. Sprinkler heads should not be within 12 inches. That's located, placed, installed within 12 inches of a structure. See that one right there? They're all kind of close.